Hi everybody, welcome back to Embrace the Journey with Sharon. And today I have a return guest. Kathya Suchan has come back. We talked about vision boards last time she was here and manifesting. And we want to get into a little bit more detail because for some, manifesting might sound a little woo-woo-y, and it might scare them. And for myself, when I first started with this years ago now, I kind of kept it to myself because I thought, are you crazy? You know, are you a little crazy? Right. But the more I got into it, the more I realized, I mean, if you go and you look back at many, many famous people, Einstein being one of them, he visualized.
Right.
I mean, they say that he came up with, you know, the science that's changed our world, visualizing.
Right, and people say that everything that exists in this world today has been visualized at some point by someone.
Yeah.
So everything that's here in physical form has come from someone's dreams, someone's visions.
Yeah, I said that. I said, take a moment, look around at everything that's here. Before it was here, it was here.
Right.
So we wanted to take the time to kind of almost break down the steps for vision boarding, and not just vision boarding, that's part of it. Vision boarding, I feel like I'm like surfing or something. Ooh, that's vision board. But also just visualizing and learning to manifest.
Right.
Because the one thing that I do know for sure, after all of my journey, and may it be many, many more years, manifesting, visualizing, if you follow the steps and believe, you manifest.
Exactly. And, you know, what we're going to do is we're going to really get you to know how to take those steps. Because one of the things is you have to take action. You can't just say, oh, I hope, or I wish, I want, yada, yada, yada to happen, and then just sit there and wait for it to appear at your front door. It's not going to be that way. You need to take action towards the goal that you're going to, you know, present yourself.
Yeah. So I'm just going to ask you to put your Mickey Mouse ears on and have an open mind and just absorb the possibility and these steps, and maybe take a risk. If it's not something that you've ever thought that you could see yourself doing, could visualize yourself doing, maybe just try it. Maybe just step out of the box a little bit and try it and see what happens. It can't hurt anything, you know? It can really just rock your world, change your world, whatever you want to do.
Right. One of the things that I first heard when I first started hearing about vision boards, which was several years ago, and I think it might have been Bob Proctor that I heard this from.
Love him!
It takes just as much energy to wish or try to manifest something small as it does large. The difference is our belief system is different when it comes to, for instance, how are you going to manifest a piece of gum without leaving your house? It might seem simple compared to how am I going to manifest $1 million? And so when you start dreaming bigger, you scare yourself into thinking, oh gosh, I can get a piece of gum, but not $1 million. And you have to realize that the energy that it takes to manifest either one is just as easy, or you know, it's something that will be actualized with action steps, and takes the same amount of energy.
Yeah. So if you were to say the first step, the most important step to manifesting and getting into doing a vision board or something along those lines, what do you feel the first step is?
Well, okay, first you need to figure out what it might be that you want. And I think we talked about that last time, is
clarity.
Right. And you have to get specific. It may not happen the first time around. It may take you, you know, a while to figure out what that means. You don't want to just say, I want to lose weight. You want to say something like, I want to lose 15 pounds. And then the other thing is you need to have an end date. Because when you have something that's a target end date, your mind kind of forces you to say, okay, I really need to get going on this to get it and attain it by a certain date.
So it sounds to me like you're kind of tying in two things, and it's just the way I'm hearing it, my perception of it. Getting clear on what you want, and then it also sounds like it's goal setting as well.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Well, the whole point is we're gonna set goals that are attainable. So another word for this is to chunk them into smaller pieces so that they actually don't feel so daunting and like, oh gosh, how am I going to get that?
Yeah, Larry says to eat an elephant, you have to start with the ear.
Right. Got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Baby steps will get you there, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And so the other main thing is you always want to stay in the present tense. You don't want to say, I want to go and, run a half marathon. You want to say, I am running a half marathon, or I've run a half marathon. Keep it in present tense and always in the positive.
Okay. So the first step that I'm hearing is, one, to get really, really clear. Okay. And you can become clear on something small if you want to start there, in the sense of, I would like to fit into a size 5
right.
by such and such date. Or you can think big if you find the courage to do that for yourself, which we're telling you, find the courage to do it, and say, I will be a published author by such and such time.
Right. Exactly. And as you start doing this more often, you're going to find yourself wanting to go loftier in your goals. And that's what we want you to do. We want you to find that, that courage to really get yourself out there. Because you're going to be amazed at how far you come. Go back a year later and see everything that you have accomplished. And one of the other things that I wanted to mention was, you should break down the goal into 3 action steps. I find it easier if you say, A, what can I do today to get closer to this goal? And it can be very minor things. It can be something like, I'm going to start eating more vegetables, in order to lose weight.
Or I'm going to go buy the size 5 dress
exactly.
that I'm going to fit into in
right.
whatever amount of time.
And just these little action steps, putting all of this together just gets you in that I guess, element of...
Yeah, Wayne Dyer, who's very famous in the spiritual world, believes in manifesting. He's a great lifestyle coach, in my opinion. Had a huge impact on my journey when I first started all of this. He has written many books. And one of the things that he does before he writes the book, he always creates the cover for the book first.
That's interesting. That's great.
Yeah. So
start with the end in mind.
Exactly. So, and it's a small step. It's not writing the 300 and whatever pages. It's not coming up with that. But he creates the actual, outer casing of
right.
the book.
Right. Yeah.
And he puts that up.
Right.
When he's going to start to write.
And you have to find what works for you. Some people may have to write the last chapter first. They know how they want the story to end. You have to find what works for you, and you're going to find that you're going to start tweaking your beliefs and
I think you have to, because I'll tell you what, just in using those examples, that left side of my brain already came up with it's monkey chatter.
Right. Right.
And this is those were not even real goals for myself.
Right.
And that monkey chatter's there. You can't do this, or how are you going to do that, or la la la. So is one of possibly the second step is, once you get clear on what it is that you want, to find the courage to have those conversations with yourself with things that you personally are going to come up with that are going to be the obstacles, your own personal obstacles that I know I create for myself. I recognize it now. I know that if I'm going to reach out there for something, I know that monkey chatter is coming.
And that's natural. It's
Yeah.
natural because our body wants us to stay safe.
Yeah. So how do we
Past
embrace that?
You have to just learn that it is going to happen to you, and then it becomes a part of how you deal with it. So you have to find in yourself to push through and persevere and kind of get that voice smaller and smaller so that it's not shouting right at you.
Yeah, and I actually go through the process of letting it ask me the questions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let it ask me the questions and then say, is that true?
Right.
You know, I set a goal for myself or something that I want, a manifestation for myself, and I get clear on it. And again, that clarity thing is the first thing.
Right.
Really the first thing before you do anything. And it's not, for some people it might be like that, but a lot of times it's, well, I think I want this. And then as you kind of hone in on it and spend the time with it and go deeper, you can get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Right. That's where you're going to start asking your whys a lot. If you know, you set a goal and then you start asking, but why do you want that? Well, because it'll make me feel better. Well, what about it is going to make you feel better?
Mm-hmm.
And you start peeling the onion and you start getting down to the very, very core. And then you might find out it's actually not what I want.
Yeah.
It's not important enough for me.
Or it was at one time, but
Right.
it's not anymore.
Right. And that's why it's so important to really get as clear and specific as possible. And you will change. You will change. It might take, a month, it might be a year. And that's why vision boards should be done often.
Yeah.
And updated often.
Yeah. And then, okay, so I've gotten clear and the monkey chatter has shown up and I've allowed myself to question it. And then it is believing in what I'm saying.
Well, the thing is, one of the laws that I always have to try to remember when I get that monkey chatter, as you call it, there's that law of polarity. And so that monkey chatter is usually the negative voice saying, you can't do that. That's too big. Who do you think you are?
Well, you're also going to get that from the outside.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. From everybody else that is around you. Which is a lot of times why we don't go after our goals, because we're so caught up on what other people are going to think. And
if we allow the outside world to influence our inside.
Right. And that doesn't happen until we get really clear with our own selves and say, I'm tired of living this way.
Yeah.
And I need to really focus on me.
Yeah.
But the law of polarity is saying there is always an exact opposite of whatever it is that you may be thinking, whether it's relatively good or relatively bad to whatever it is. There's an exact opposite. And always put yourself on that other side of it, on the positive side of it.
What was that movie? There's a movie out one time called, I think it was called Serendipity. And it was a movie about just that. Like, if she entered the train on this side, it went this way. And if she entered the train on this side, it was a total different direction. But yet, they were both the realities.
And choices. And here's the other thing is, if you make a choice and it turns out you need to make that U-turn and go back, give yourself that break.
Yeah.
Give yourself that break. That was a lesson that you learned, and it actually taught you something. It taught you why you're needing having the field to turn around. And forgive yourself and just, go on.
And compassion for yourself.
Yeah. Which is difficult for so many people.
Yeah. And isn't that sad?
It is.
When you think about it, it's like we are in such a society that, tells us that we can't do things or picks up on anything that's negative. People can rise so high and everybody's behind them, and all of a sudden they do one little thing, and people just hone in on that and chop them right down to back down. Yeah. Right. So, and there's, I don't know the exact line in A Course in Miracles, but it's miracles. That's the norm. They happen every day. What happens is we get in the way of them. we knock ourselves out of alignment with it so often that we start to think that the miracle is something special.
Right.
And the miracle really isn't.
Yeah, it's every day around us.
They're around us every day, and they happen everywhere, and they can happen to you on a daily basis, and to me on a daily basis, and to you on a daily basis. It's us. It's our own internal chatter. It's listening to the outside forces that shakes the truth of our belief.
Right. And the thing with that too is, as you start doing this and maybe setting, you know, the gratitude journal, which again is something that we should do, you'll become more open to that. You'll become more open to seeing the miracles that happen in everyday life that you at one point didn't realize was right there.
Yeah. So then part of the third step was being in the present and being positive. And for me, that is, I am. I think Joel Osteen said it best. Whatever follows I am is what will be.
I am is so powerful. Those two words are so powerful, and it puts you right there in the present and saying, I am accomplishing. I am going to make this happen for me. And
or even stronger than that, I am a size 5 and I am wearing whatever dress, or I am a published author and the title of my book is this. I am.
Right, whatever it is that you want to have, you just end it in that sentence. I am whatever it is you're trying to attain.
Yeah.
And it just puts your mind in that, you know, that setting where you are there.
Yeah.
Where you are there.
So let's talk about there. So there is, what does it feel like? What do you feel like? I am a published author. What does that feel like for you? What does it look like? You know, how do you see the title of your book? How did you decide to write your name on it? You know, do you see yourself on Amazon? Do you see yourself at a book signing and you're sitting down and you're signing? And who are you looking at when you look up? And what are people saying? And what are you wearing? And, you know, all of that. Putting yourself in that present moment.
Right. And I think that's probably one of the hardest things for everybody to do is to actually get in that feeling as if you've already accomplished whatever it is you're set out to do. And bringing the senses, smells, taste, feel, sight, what's the other one?
Yeah, well, hearing. And I hear you. I can hear you out there right now going, well, that's nice to say, and you know that's all good, but I don't have the money, and I don't have anybody supporting me, and how is it going to be possible? And that is what we're talking about. We are talking about taking all of these steps is what is going to rebuild the dream that we all had when we were little.
Right.
We all dreamt about things and lived like this incredible dream. And now what we're telling you is that is still a part of who you are. And now you have the power to use that.
Yes.
And in using that, in using these steps, is when you start to believe. So that when you share with somebody and they say, you know, hi Sharon, how are you today? Great. Well, how's it coming with the book? It's coming wonderfully. You know, instead of somebody saying, well, how's it coming with the book? I haven't seen the book out.
Yeah, well, it's still coming. You know, it's slow. You know.
Yeah. Do you really think that you can? Do you really think that you could?
It's just so much to think about, so much to do. I don't know. I just don't know if I can do it.
Yeah.
Life is too busy.
There's a difference between the doubt, which is fear. It's fear-based, and fear is a natural instinct that we have. It is part of being human, but fear's space is protection from something that's really dangerous.
Right.
Dreaming of becoming an author and getting your voice out into the world, don't be afraid of that. Those are the things that we're here to do. So put fear in its place and all of these steps will help you to build the confidence and build the belief and be in the moment of I am, and the feelings and all of that.
Mm-hmm. Right. And as she was saying, just to add on to that, when you start taking these little steps, your confidence level is gonna, it's gonna get bigger and bigger to actually get you going and start saying, you know what, I really can, and I am doing this. Nothing's gonna stop me. And you're gonna find that obstacles that other people say, it's gonna say, don't worry about that. I can get through this.
Yeah, things are just gonna start to appear. And the other thing is patience. Patience is so important when it comes to this, because even though we're setting goals and we're setting a time frame, it is going to be universal timing. And what we don't see sometimes in this great, amazing universe, first off, is that it's got your back. It's got your back. And second off is that maybe a couple of things have to happen over here in order for this to happen for us over here.
Right.
Maybe somebody else was writing a book that was going to be similar to yours, and they put it down so that it made space for you, whatever it is.
Right.
And I just keep using the book thing, but just as an example. But another thing in the Course in Miracles is that as well, when you truly believe and you know, patience is just there.
Just have the faith that it's going to happen at the right time, and for whatever reason that it's not happening at the moment is because something else needs to be taken care of first.
Yeah.
And it's something that you will not know right now, but it'll occur. It'll occur.
Yeah.
And to some people it happens so much quicker than others, and it's just simply because those certain steps have already taken place.
Yeah.
But never give up if it's something that you want. What's that saying is, if something comes, if an obstacle occurs, don't change the decision to get there, just change your direction to get there.
Yeah. So the vision board part of it, that's, taking something visual, cutting things out, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. So the vision board part of it, now that we've got our steps laid out, tie us into a vision board.
So, once you get the pictures up, and you know your why, and you know what it is that you want to attain, start chunking things into smaller action steps so that you can do something today. Not because you don't have the money or you have to wait next week to get the money. You can make a phone call as easily as a phone call, or start gathering names of people that may be able to help you get wherever it is that you want to do, or start researching stuff on Google, trying to figure out, what exactly does this mean? What do I need to do to get to these little steps? And you do that with everything. And you try. If it doesn't work, you try something else. But you don't give up. You don't give up on your decision to get there. And that's just the main thing. We may not know the how, but you need to believe that it's gonna come.
Yeah. And the vision board, for me, ties in. I'm a visual person, so some people are auditory, and I'm really visual. I love color. I love I see things that other people don't see. So I know, for me, it makes me feel. So the vision board, and just doing what you're saying, going through all the steps that we spoke about with the clarity, getting really clear on it, why it is that you want to do it, and then finding the pictures that are related, not necessarily just visually, but also how you feel when you see it visually.
Right.
And so then I'm starting to create this vision board, and it's not, I'm doing it today and I'm done. It can be an ongoing thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't have to be, short term to where, I need to get this done by 6 months. Even though you are putting an end date.
Yeah, because that might scare some people.
Yeah, right. That might scare some people. Yeah. Put the end date, because it does change the way your brain looks at a goal. But if you find yourself that you're getting closer and closer, but you're just not going to get it by that date, I mean, don't go shooting yourself saying, oh, I didn't do it. I need to give up on this.
Is it also a place to revisit it?
Oh, always.
Because
always.
if you're not, if you're taking all these steps and you're doing all of this, and the universe has your back. Let me say that one more time. The universe has our back. And it doesn't seem to be happening. Again, a couple of things. One, patience. Patience is there, because if you know, it could be 3 years from now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could be 3 years from now. But the other thing is to take a look at it and see if it's still, one, clear, and if it's still something that you really are still feeling the same about.
Right. And that's sometimes what can happen is the longer it keeps taking and taking and taking, you may need to tweak something. You may need to figure out, well, why is it not happening as I had imagined so quickly? And you may need to, to tweak it. You may need to, change just one little aspect or change an action that may go to that goal. And it can turn your world around. It can change just how quickly you can manifest.
Yeah. We're going to end up today with me saying, it works. I am where I am on my journey because of manifesting, and because of learning to believe in myself, and because of my faith, and because I've gotten clear. I've learned to question the monkey chatter. It's always going to come up.
Always.
I don't care what it is, how small my goal is. I don't care how much I know. Again, that's a natural thing. It's going to come up. But now, because once you start manifesting and little things start happening, you start knowing that it is possible. So I'm going to say that, and I know you feel the same way about manifesting. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing.
I've seen it. It's happened to me. I've seen it happen to people that I've worked with, and it's just an amazing thing when you actually say, "Wow, it actually did occur."
Yeah.
Because you're more aware. You're more aware of what you're asking for in the universe. If you don't write things down, if you don't do a vision board, you may not know what you're actually asking for.
Well, and neither does the universe.
Right. And it's all ambiguous.
It's just kind of like floating around out there, and you need to be aligned with what it is, because you are here for a purpose, and you are here to live life in a really cool way.
Yeah.
And so why not? Go for it, really. So, again, thank you for coming today. I want you to make sure to go to the show page and go down the bios, and you'll see Kathya there. And you can click on her and go visit her website. Her email address is there as well, so if you'd like to get in touch with her. And I'm kind of hoping somewhere down the line that we might be getting a little something from Kathya maybe once a month in a blog.
Yes,
yeah,
I know.
So I'm trying to have her manifest that for us.
And it's definitely there. It's definitely in the horizon.
Yeah. So keep coming to the website and check in on that. And once we get more aligned with that vision that I think we both have, I'll send out a blast so that you can all know about it. And remember, one of the most important things about this is embrace the journey, because when you do, life becomes absolutely amazing. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.